Um, I thought we were doing this in person, so that's why I was late. I was sitting here and then,
Your Honor, we were planning to do it in person, but then we reached an agreement, so I figured we could just prove it up by Zoom if that's okay with the court.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Is Miss Donica here? I mean,
She is not, Your Honor, but she has signed the agreed order, and it actually recites in the her client is relinquishing his rights, and so there's two proposed orders. And the first one has him terminating and recites that they agreed to it but didn't show up. And then the second one she's not a party to because the idea would be that he terminates first and then we do the conservatorship.
Okay. So your clients are present?
They are, Your Honor. They're sitting here right here with me.
And so then the respondent father is not going to be here?
No, Your Honor.
And then the mother is present, ma'am. Are you the Miss McKay?
Yes, sir.
And you're representing yourself, is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll go on the record in D19-28227-CV in the interest of Maya Pearson. I have the petitioners present. Mr. Green, are your clients present?
Yes, Your Honor. Both Larry and Lynn Pearson are right here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is the court okay? Are you okay with them being off camera just because we're all
No,
here?
that's fine. I just wanted to make sure they were there.
Yes, sir.
Petitioners are present, represented by Neil Green. The respondent father nor his counsel are present, but have apparently signed off on an agreement in this case. The mother is present, representing herself. This had been set for a bench trial for today, and it's my understanding the parties have reached an agreement. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Ms. McKay, is that correct on your end?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Green, you can either give an opening statement or call your witnesses. You tell me if you.
I think by way of opening statement, I'll just explain to the court what's going on, if that's okay, Your Honor.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, basically, I represent Larry and Lynn Pearson, and they are the great-grandparents of Maya Pearson, who is the child the subject of this suit. And so they are the grandparents of Elena, who is the mother of Maya. That makes sense? Yes. Travis Weston is the biological father of the child, but hasn't had much to do with the child, frankly. I originally filed a SAPSR, a suit affecting parent-child relationship, on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Pearson to take Maya into custody, and they've been a big part, if not the primary part, of taking care of Maya her whole life. Elena's had other issues that she's really stepped up to the plate. She's being a good mom, but they have kind of been the most stable thing in Maya's life, her whole life. And so we were just trying to get Maya into a safe place, kind of let Elena kind of deal with what she was dealing with. And then we had to pull Travis in because Travis was the biological father. The court appointed Carol Wade Wright as the guardian ad litem of the child, and Carol tried to foster a relationship between Travis and Maya, and for a little while that worked, and then it just kind of didn't work after a while, and he eventually just decided to relinquish. And I talked to Carol this morning, and she told me to tell the court that she was on board with this arrangement. She's not going to be able to attend because she's on the road this morning, but she is on board with our proposal to the court. So at this point, Your Honor, what we're asking is for the court to accept the relinquishment of Travis, to find that it would be in the best interest of Maya for Travis's parental rights to be terminated, and then to appoint Larry and Lynn Pearson and Elena McKay, as the joint managing conservators of the child, with my clients having the exclusive right to designate the primary residence, and my clients having the exclusive right to make educational decisions, but then everything else just being equal and independent.
All right.
Okay.
And Ms. McKay, do you have an opening statement, or does that comport with what your understanding is of the agreement you've reached?
Yes, that is the agreement we've reached.
Okay. So with that, Mr. Green, do you wish to call your clients and Ms. McKay?
Yes, Your Honor. I think yes, if you'll just swear everybody in, Your Honor.
All right, if all three of y'all can raise your right hands, do each of you swear or affirm the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Green, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to call Lynn Pearson. Are you Lynn Pearson?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Pearson, did I describe that correctly? You are actually Elena's grandmother and you are Maya's great grandmother on her paternal side, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so you and your husband, Larry Pearson, are the petitioners in this lawsuit, correct?
Yes, sir.
And y'all brought this suit because y'all felt like you needed to take care of Maya, correct?
Yes.
And y'all have been in Maya's life since she was from the very beginning, correct?
Yes.
Could
Yes.
you give a brief explanation of the court to the court of kind of y'all's involvement with Maya since she was born? Just summarizing it.
Well, she lived at our house, and any of the expenses that Elena couldn't cover, we did. We took care of her, and we sought to have this arrangement approved by the court so we could put our Champus TRICARE insurance on her, and which would help us. And we're in the process of dealing with extending that for a longer period of time. And they canceled it in March because of the paperwork that was done at the last hearing. And we just want to do the best we can to take care of Maya. And she's lived at our house pretty much the whole time since she was born.
And so really since she was born, she's lived with y'all, and
Yes.
y'all have raised her, really, correct?
Yes.
Although Elena has been a participant
Yes.
and has done and
Yes.
has been very involved, at least.
Yes.
Now, at least at the beginning of this case, there was a situation that made y'all think that Maya definitely didn't need to live with Elena because there was an incident regarding Elena's husband, et cetera, which is being handled in the criminal courts. But y'all felt like Maya wasn't safe either emotionally or physically with Elena at that time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I will call you in just a second, okay? It'll make the record clear if I just do this
Okay.
one at a time. Okay. And so at this point, y'all still don't believe that it would be in the best interest of Maya to live with Elena and with her husband right now, correct?
Well, there's still some things under that haven't ended with that.
With that
court
criminal case?
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all still think that it is in Maya's best interest for her to live with y'all, correct?
Yes.
And you've talked to Maya about this, correct?
Yes.
And of course, Maya would be happy to talk to the court if the court wanted her to, correct?
Yes.
But Maya definitely believes that, Maya definitely wants to live with the two of y'all, correct?
Yes, sir.
And of course, she wants to have a relationship with her mother at the same time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Travis for a second. Mr. Wesson was not involved in Maya's life at all from the time she was born until we began this lawsuit, correct?
No, sir.
And in other words, he never saw her one time. Is that correct?
Not that I know of, unless he saw her online.
Okay. Never provided any support for her. Is that correct?
Never.
He never participated in her life in any way. Never provided support. Never provided shelter. Never provided food. Had absolutely no relationship with Maya. Correct.
No.
As far as Maya was concerned, she did not have Travis as a father. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And do you believe that and so at this point, given that there was no relationship to begin with, and given that Travis and Maya had no relationship, did you see when Travis tried to come back into Maya's life or come into Maya's life, did that cause problems for Maya?
Yes, it did, sir.
And can you explain those problems to the court briefly?
Well, it made her very nervous, the thought of her being removed from our home where she'd been forever, and even associating regularly with a stranger. And Carol did help with that for a while. But when Carol, because of COVID and some other things, when Carol turned it over to Travis, he dropped the ball.
Gotcha.
He hadn't sent a text message or anything since the last one was in January, I think.
Gotcha.
And it's high. That's all he said.
And so, in other words, for a little while, he was kind of participating as Carol was trying to get them together, but then he pretty much just dropped off the face of the earth, correct?
Yes.
And that dropping off the face of the earth damaged Maya, correct?
Well,
Or was it emotionally difficult on Maya?
him stopping
Yes.
was better for her.
But
She, you know,
how about this? The back and forth with him was very hard on Maya. Would that be
yes,
correct?
yes, it was.
So in other words, him being in her life for a little while, then being back out of her life, and then kind of being in by just saying hi and then being gone again, that caused Maya problems, correct?
Yes, it did.
And Maya's much happier with
Yeah.
Travis
It
not.
agitated her, actually.
Gotcha. And she got mad about it, correct?
Yes, she did.
And Maya is not a bashful child. She'll tell you what she thinks, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so you definitely believe it would be in the best interest of Maya for Travis not to be in her life and not to have parental rights, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at this time, you're asking the court that you and Mr. Pearson be appointed the joint managing conservators, correct?
Yes,
And that along with Elena, correct?
yes,
But that the two of y'all have the right, you and Mr. Pearson have the right to designate the primary residence of the child, correct?
yes,
And y'all have the exclusive right to make educational decisions about the child, correct?
yes.
And you're not asking for any child support from anybody, correct?
No, no.
And y'all have accepted the duty of providing health insurance for Maya, correct?
Yes,
And that's going to be through Mr. Pearson's association with military, correct?
right.
And then the only thing that Elena would be responsible for is if there was something that wasn't covered by health insurance, Elena would be responsible for that.
Or
correct?
if she wanted to.
Yes.
To contribute.
Or if she wanted to contribute some way.
Yeah.
Okay. But y'all don't need child support in order to raise Maya, correct?
No, sir.
So it's fine that there's no child support that you're going to receive there, correct?
Correct.
All right, I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. McKay, do you have any questions of this witness?
No, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm gonna-
Next witness.
We'll call Larry Pearson.
Okay,
Are you Larry Pearson?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Pearson, you're also a petitioner in this lawsuit, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when I keep referring to Mr. Pearson in my testimony as Mrs. Pearson, you're the Larry Pearson we're talking about,
That's correct.
Do you completely agree with everything that your wife testified to a moment ago?
I certainly do.
And you also believe that it would be in the best interest of Maya for the three of y'all, you, Elena, and Mrs. Pearson, to be the joint managing conservators of Maya, correct?
Yes,
And you firmly also believe that it's in the best interest of Maya for Travis Wesson's parental rights to be terminated, correct?
yes.
Is there anything you would like to add that you think that didn't get said a moment ago?
Only in addition to what my wife Lynn said, our relationship with Maya began before she was born. Her mother, my granddaughter, Elena, lived with us to finish her last year of high school. And she went on to college over here at Navarro. And we have essentially, not solely, but essentially raised the child to include such things as starting her in a preschool out to the New Horizons. She went there for a year and a half.
Brighter,
What?
brighter.
Horizons. And doing everything that you would expect that to be done to care for the child and advance her welfare.
And other than that, you adopt all the testimony of your wife, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. McKay, any questions of this witness?
No, sir.
All right,
Your Honor, I'll call Elena McKay.
okay,
Are you Elena McKay?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. McKay, you're the mother of Maya Lynn Pearson, correct?
Yes.
And you've heard the agreement and the testimony that we just put on the record through Mr. Pearson and Mrs. Pearson, correct?
Yes.
And do you agree with their testimony?
Yes, I do.
And you agree that terminating Travis's parental rights is in Maya's best interest, correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
And we had all reached an agreement ahead of time regarding this, and that was what we put on the record a moment ago. And you think this agreement is in the best interest of Maya, correct?
Yes, I do believe that.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
all right. Any other witnesses?
I'll rest at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. McKay, do you have any witnesses to call or any testimony to give?
No, sir.
Okay. First, I think I need to take judicial notice of the, well, I don't think I will take judicial notice of the affidavit of relinquishment that's been filed with the court, of that being of the father, Mr. Wesson. And based on that and the testimony I've received, I'll find that termination of his parental rights as to the child is in the child's best interest. Furthermore, the court will find that he has executed that affidavit. Court will find that the petitioners in this case and the mother are appointed joint managing conservators, as previously recited, find it's in the best interest that they are, and that that the great grandparents, will have the exclusive right to determine residence and make any and all educational decisions. All other rights will be equal. Have I missed anything?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think that's it. And I did present, I think on Friday, we submitted agreed orders on both of these, although I don't know if they've come through and been approved by the clerk yet.
Okay. Well, I'll certainly sign those orders when they're received. And is there anything further we need to take up this morning?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Good luck to all three of y'all. And Maya needs all three of y'all. So I know that sounds like y'all will work together and do what's in her best interest.
And they have been, Your Honor. They really have been working together. So I think this is going to be a positive outcome.
That's good. Well, that concludes this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thanks, Elena.
Thank you.
Mr. Green, did